Okay, right. So, welcome to Beat Complete. We're going to try again because last time the internet broke. So now back in my usual studio office space and the internet's working. So what I'm going to do today is take some of the tracks from the community and mix them. Or some of them I've already mixed. So there's some that I've already mixed, and I'm going to walk you through how I've mixed them. And there's also some that I'm going to do live, and hopefully they'll sound good. Obviously, it's going to be a quick mix, not a full mix. I can do that later and send you the tracks. That's fine, but I can't do it all in about 15 minutes because I don't have that long, and there's nine tracks to go through. So, okay, we are going to start with Mr. Audio Defect Wave. Hello, hello. Come and say hello in the chat if you can hear me. Everything's okay? Right. So this one's called Think Sad Piano in A minor. And we're just going to run through that. Okay. Second. Cool. Okay, let's go. Right. Let's take a listen to it first. Okay, we're going to stop it here. I already did some mixing on the drums, so now usual kind of drums mixing setup I go with is compression. Well, if we'll just zoom in here, have a look at the drums. See, it's not super compressed. There's a bit of compression. You'll see the difference between the loudest and the quietest is not huge. So I did a bit of subtle compression here with the Ableton compressor down here. And we'll take a listen. I think I can turn everything off. And then we'll just go through them all. And the reasons for doing things. Okay. So just set a loop so we can keep it looping. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just very subtle compression on that one. Without, and then drum bus is great for adding a little bit of saturation, a little bit of, just a little bit of grit to the drums is always good. You can add some booms, add some low frequencies to the kick if you want to. I don't think it really suits this kind of track and doesn't really go with the vibe of the drums, so we'll just gives it a bit more of a vibe. And then I don't know why I've gone EQ before I've done a bit more saturation. I'm just going to actually bring this decapitator over and change the okay, yes, sorry, there you go. Right, decapitator, it's going to open on the wrong screen because I don't know why Ableton opens my plugins on the wrong screen, but I can't change it. Yeah, a little bit more drive. Let's hear this. Now, this is fully wet, so as distorted as it can be. and then just added without. Again, it's just a vibe thing. Okay, and we're just gonna close that. And then we have the fab filter. Now, the drum sounded great. There wasn't any real resonant frequency sticking out. Nothing that's nothing's really affecting the sound of it. Nothing that stands out and makes me go, oh, I need to get rid of this frequency. But, you know, there's a little bit on the kick. A little bit of resonance in there that I took out. And also here, the resonant frequency that I pulled out as well. And then a little bit more of vibey compression at the end from the UAD distressor. There we go. Just gonna turn it off. It's really pumping, and then start it back. So there's just a bit of distressor vibe going on the drums there. Okay, and then next track we have these kind of glitchy drums, which you can hear now. Add those to the now. Those sound great, but they are some low end being added to by them. If you listen, I don't know, here, we'll loop that up. Let's bring up the EQ so we can see it nicely. All this stuff around here is interfering with the bass that we have and also with the drums themselves, and it's adding kind of taking away from the clarity of the bass. And so I'm just going to take it out basically. And you'll hear now. Probably take out a bit more actually. There we go. I'll put that with the drums. Oh, sorry, that's not the drums, it's the bass. Just gonna, okay. So I'm gonna add a keyboard macro to these so I can turn them on and off so you can hear with and without the effects. Okay, I'm just gonna loop up this bit, we'll play them. With effects. Without effects, it's quieter. I could game match it, but there's a bit of a vibe. I don't know about full screen mode. I think you can double click on the video or make it bigger. Yeah, I don't know. And then I'm doing a full screen recording as well at the same time. So we'll put that in the YouTube and in the Discord. Right, and we're going to move on to the bass. I like to mix the drums. I always have my drums at the top. I normally have my kick if it's separate at the top, and then I kind of drums underneath. And then I go to bass. Now, listen to the bass on its own. There are some clicks in there. Now, I don't know if I have the... Yeah, I don't have the plugin to do this here, but I would spend time removing the clicks from it. But the best way, fastest and dirtiest way is just to kind of low pass a bass that has clicks in, and there's a sub like this, and the clicks, no clicks. It's a pretty dirty way to do it, but it's still effective. Now this, I've just compressed it, as you'll see here. I'm sorry I can't get any bigger because it's the Ableton one, but it's behind my face. I just move my face out of the way. Give me a second. Not my face, that's the other thing. That's my face. Okay, so see, we have the compressor. It's I think it's one of the Ableton presets. We use the gentle squeeze sometimes and generic compression. Quite good to drop on and quite universal. But there's just quite big differences between the loud and the quiet of the bass here. So it's compressed, it's got rid of the clicks by low passing, and then I like to mix it with the drums. Right, this is a plugin I use quite a lot for checking my mixes. It's from Sonable, it's called True Balance, and it gives like a spectral balance of your track and compares it with other kind of tracks, spectral balances. You'll see, you can hear the bass is quite loud, and you can also see it here. I'm just going to pull it out of the way, and then we're just going to balance those together so they sit quite nicely to my ears. Okay, sounds good to me. And then the rest of this track is kind of like ambient kind of piano sounds. we're gonna listen to them. There's synth sounds and piano sounds. From what I remember, there's not too many frequencies that I don't like in there. So we're gonna take a look at those. Now I've already taken a look at this, and I pulled out some resonance frequencies. I've pulled the bass down so it doesn't interfere with our kick and our sub. And then, yeah, so different channels, more pianos. They're all mixed very well, the pianos. Sound great. And then the question of balancing those together and then balancing those with the kick and the bass, and that will bring the mix together. And let's see. Okay, these are all, I've done some mixing here. Some of the levels are down. So I'm just going to play it and we'll see what it sounds like. Cool. Excuse me. All right, let's balance those with the kicks and the bass. Okay. I'll give those a little bit of a bit more high end. I think it sounds a little bit not flat, but like dull to my ears. So I'm gonna use my favorite decapitator to add a bit of saturation. Love a bit of saturation. Where did I drop that? I did not drop that on the. So, okay, there we go. Bring it onto the correct screen, and let's have a listen. I'm just going to go wild, and then I'll dial it back. Okay, that's sounding good. There's a few things I've had a bit longer that I would address, but for now, I've addressed most of the pressing issues with it. I just need to kind of check the balance of the mix and do that in the loudest part, which I think is here. Drums? No, it's drums here. Okay, let's play it from here. Cool. That's my quick mix of audio defect waves, sad piano in C minor. I'll get that mix finished and I will send it directly to you, audio defect wave. Thank you for sending it through. Just going to save. And then we're going to move on. And who do we have lined up next? We have Mr. Sam lined up next. Mr. Sam broke the stream last time, so hopefully it'll be fine. It wasn't Mr. Sam. It was the internet. Track is loaded. Internet's still here. This is looking good. Right. Okay. I did get into it last time, but I tried to get into it before everything just broke down. And it wasn't Mr. Sam. It was the whole building's internet and possibly the whole block. So I'm in a different area of the city now. So let's cross our fingers and our toes. Right, let's take a listen to it. This is again, well, let me have a look. Now, yes, okay. I've set up a macro to turn on and off all my plugins apart from this one, apparently. Let's see. You are still on. You're still on. Okay, 1 sec. Turn everything on. On. Set the macro. For some reason I use the keyboard number 1 to do this. It's a bad idea because it can also affect your tempo if you're clicking the wrong place. But I've been doing it for such a long time that I can't. Okay, right. Everything is. Nope, not that one. Check everything's turned off, on, off, on, off, on, that one. Okay. Okay. Right. Every plugin's off. Okay, let's play this without the plugins, and then we're going to start. Okay. All right, so I was turning on and off my plugins to listen to what was happening and what I've done, and yeah, let's go through it. Drums. Kicks, first of all. Kicks sounded pretty good to me. I'm just going to grab a loop of kicks. Make it a nice loop. These two kicks. And they were EQ'd. EQ's on the wrong screen. There we go. There was a bit of a resonance there, bit of a resonance there. Gave it a bit of a bass boost there. Right, let's move on to the next thing. And then decapitator again. Because I put it on pretty much everything. So turn it off. Just adds a little bit of grit to the kick. This one was I EQ'd it with this EQ. I don't know what I did. What have I done? I have yeah, it seems to be boosting it quite a bit in the bass. No, sorry, cutting it quite a lot in the, it's a dip. So cutting quite a lot of the bass out. Let's turn it off. Yeah, it was slamming quite hard, so I pulled out some of the bass frequencies. Just because it had nice mid-range, didn't want to like pull the whole kick down. I just pulled out the bass frequencies in it. And again, there's this dynamic EQ. They always sound quite resonant-y, is that a thing? Quite resonant on their own anyway, but those were pulled out. And then a little bit of squashing. And then, yeah, I think the reason I pulled out quite a lot of the bass on that kick is because we have a very bassy sub here. Now, if you want, if it's like a creative thing, you can leave the subby bass in, but then when you get to the when there's no bass playing, but when you get to the bit with the bass, you're going to have to make a choice, like what's going to have the sub, what's not going to have the sub, how are you going to fit them in together, because if you have all these bass frequencies like competing, it's going to get quite loud and you can distort quite easily. So we've opted here for the sub in the bass to have most of the bass frequencies. So let's take a listen to the bass on its own. You'll see there is a sidechain or an envelope on the bass which stops it from interfering, but some of the notes don't get caught, like you'll see here. Okay, let's play it with the kick, and there's again, get the kick sounding good, get the bass sounding good, and then mix them together is my thing. Just a bit of EQ. This is the sub, and I've used a Pultec EQ to add in a little bit of the old Pultec trick where you boost it and then you attenuate it, and doesn't really boost the bass a lot. It just adds a little bit of sub vibe to it. It's a little bit of extra bass in there. Again, fab filter for the resonant frequencies. Not going to play those for time reasons, and then we'll just kind of mix in these two together. Right, and then tops, which is the snare, the hi-hats, and the breaks. I was going to say there has to be a decapitator on there, and there is, and I think some low end was cut out from this. Grab the EQ, which always ends up on the wrong screen. There's not a lot of bass in there, just clearing some space for the kick and the sub. Okay, let's play all those three together. Okay, sounding pretty heavy. Good. And then when those play together, we have this RP synth happening. So I'm going to grab the synth group, and I'm using Ableton Live for this beta. Right. Then we'll listen to that all together, make sure there's nothing interfering. There is a frequency in there that's bothering me, and I'm going to use Soothe to pull it out. I've only recently started using this, but it's pretty good for this kind of dynamic EQ to pull out resonant frequencies. So let's grab the loop, and then we'll start playing it. Right. Where is it? Yeah, it's around there. This is just playing you what's being removed. Okay, that's quick and fast, quick and easy, sorry, and then it should help. Just my ears, I hear that frequency. It's tiring them a little bit. Okay, let's play it together. Yeah, I also use Soothe on the vocal to kind of remove some frequencies that I didn't like. A bit too much. Okay, it's better. Alright, let's play a decent chunk of it. And then we'll have to move on. Okay. 15 minutes on that one. That's what I would do with that track. That's just the beginning. If I was going to do more, I would add a bit more width to the synths. They sound really nice, and I'd like to push them out a bit so you get... So it sounds good in your ears, basically. The vocals, I would compress them a bit more. Again, a bit more saturation. But I like the vibe, the kind of breathy, dark vibe to them. They're really cool. Yeah, I'll finish that mix and I will send it over to Mr. Sam. And then next we have Peppertine Sinister Forest. Let me see if I can find this. Sinister Forest. Should be at my desktop. Yeah, there we go. Save. Always remember to save. Okay, now this one is a drum and bass track. So, well, I think it is. It's at 175 BPM. Yeah, I'm going to play it from where the bass comes in. Have I mixed this? I have. Have I added my macro for the plugins? have. Excellent. On everything. On everything. Cool. Do a first run without plugins. Okay, turn the plugins on. Okay, so let's turn off the plugins and listen to the drums. And we'll grab a good loop of that and start playing. Really nice break, but it could do with some more oomph. Oomph? Yes. Okay, compression into saturation, to EQ, and into some vibey saturation compression from the stressor. So without, with. It's a bit dirtier. It's the try and gain match it so we can. There you go, gain matched. So yeah, go through compression for a bit of attack to let through the peaks. So listen. Not doing a huge amount, but it's helping. Turn off the utility again. And then decapitator, let's listen to it for whack. And then dial it in. Again, never does too much, but it's just there to kind of add some vibe. Now we go to the EQ. Bit of oomph in the kick. Taking out this resonant peak here. And a bit of like woodiness in the snare. Not using the dynamic mode to kind of not always have it cut out, but just when it's loud. And also with the high end here as well. Let's listen. Those are quite, yeah, fatiguing is the word I'm looking for. So it's drums. And then the bass. So drum and bass, we have to mix the drums and the bass really, really well. So we have this kind of high-end bass, or high-end mid-range kind of bassy, growly. Cool. I've used this EQ again. I find it to be a very clean sounding EQ when you're cutting and boosting. Doesn't have any fancy bells and whistles, but if I'm cutting out frequencies, then it is good, because this had a lot of frequencies I wanted to remove, but in a kind of clean way, if that makes sense. So turn it off. And yeah, I've removed a lot of the bass, but the reason being is we have this sub bass underneath. I don't want them to be competing. just going to compress them together so they kind of gel. And when we're done the sub again, a little cut on the really low sub, and then a little boost where it's mainly hitting. Then, okay. Oh, yeah. And also, your subs, you want to keep them mono. Utility is good for this. In Ableton, just click on bass mono, and your bass is mono, and it shouldn't cause any problems. Right, bass. Okay, and let's play that with the drums and mix them up, mix them together, and get them sounding good. Okay, sounding pretty fat. Let's bring in, what's this bit at the end here? Okay, got an extra break that comes in later, so let's mix that in with the drums and the bass. Okay, it's kind of extra little layer in the back. I don't remember what break that is, but yeah, it's cool. Sounds great. And then, yeah, we've got some chords, some piano, and some effects. I like to, when I'm mixing, kind of like group things together. Makes it easier to remember where everything is and get things out of the way. And so I can focus drums, bass, keys, and effects. There we go. Right. So those two are fitting together quite nicely, and then we'll go into the keys. Yeah, one thing I would say is they sound a little bit dry on their own, like without reverb, without any effects or anything. But let's just put them with the bass and the drums and see. It's probably sound fine once I play it together. Cool. Sounds pretty good. Yeah. And now I've got like 5 minutes on this one. So I'm just gonna bit of compression again. Gentle squeeze is good for this kind of thing. I stopped having too many changes in the dynamics between. The piano has quite a hard dynamic at the front, and the organ also. See, so smooth those out a little bit. And we got some effects. Cool. I'm just going to take out any rogue low frequencies. Oh, are there any? Cool. Yeah, it's not too bad. I could smooth out the high frequencies in those a little bit, but see, bring out soothe again, and it's just quite resonant. Okay, right now, I think that'll do it. I just need to get the balance of the effects with everything else, and that should be our quick mix. It's out of the way. Right. Okay, sounding pretty slamming now. Okay, that was Sinister Forest. I just kind of improved the bass, left some room for the bass in the drums, made the drums slam a bit harder, and then just kind of mixed everything to my tastes. And I will finish that off and send it over to you, Peter. Now, next up, we have Liam. I'm just going to open that one up. Okay. Should be on my desktop. Is it? Yes, it is. It's called FK Around. Now this is, let's save that. This is quite a big, complex project. So lots of layers. Really. Oh, am I coming through here? No. Okay. Yeah. The bass is a lot of tracks. So this one, it was mixed quite well. I'll take a listen to it. I wonder if I've done it. Okay, cool. All my plugins are now off. I'm going to listen to kind of this section here. Okay, now I'm going to turn my plugins on and I'm going to have a listen. Off. On. Without plugins, without. Okay, for this kind of, I guess, tear out dubstep kind of vibe, The classic OTT multi-band compression is the big EDM vibe, and it helps to kind of like slam stuff together. You gotta like, sorry, bang the table. You gotta slam stuff together for this. Lots and lots of tracks. Yeah, which can run through very quickly. OTT, the drums. We'll get a good loop. Oops, moving stuff around. Okay. Stop moving. Where's the drop? It's here. There's the drop. Yeah. So. And then, yeah, just added some more vibe to it, more grit, more dirt, slammed it all together with an OTT. The old Pultec trick to add some extra bass to it. Get that kick going. And then slammed it through a tape. Just for the vibes of tape, it sounds nice. I'm gonna run through all the channels. Where's this one? It's our main drum channel. Again, the distressor. A little bit of vibe to the drums. Without. Yeah. EQ, just adding a bit top end, a bit of bass on the kick, and then nothing on that channel. And the synths, lots of synths. This is about, again, slamming, and this, which is absolutely tiny on my screen. Can I make it bigger? Yes, I can. Okay. It's like an old sampler modeling thing, I think, and adds a little bit of dirt to, yeah, synths especially. And this was more about like, this track's like a mosaic, so I had to kind of bring together all the different parts and make them sound like they belong together. And OTT is very good for that. More tape from the studio. And then, yeah, just have a listen. This kind of 80s kind of breakdown bit sounded a bit dull, so I added some highs with the EQ and also with the decapitator. We have subby part that goes with that. And yeah, I mean, what's this part? Cool. It's like a brass thing that was happening that had loads and loads of bass in. I was playing at the same time as other bassy things. Yes, this bit here, the drums, and yeah, so I took out the low end to kind of, you know, help it all fit together, not overload the channels, etc., etc. Okay. And the bass is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 26 channels of bass. So again, it's about, there's lots of different edits and little wobbles and growls and stuff. It's about fitting them together, making them sound cohesive. Again, distressor. Again, an OTT. There is, so I mixed this before I got Soothe, so I got the baby audio version of dynamic EQ, and that's getting rid of some harsh frequencies that were in the bass. full tech again, twice, to add a bit of bass. And we are going to, it's quite difficult to explain this mix because there's so much going on. But yeah, we're going to play that all together and then we can move on to our next mix. As this police car goes past my house. So this send I have here, when I'm squashing synths quite hard, which I'm doing with the OTT, I have this bus set up, which is just allows through some of the transients so they don't get squashed. So just have a listen to it on its own. Not a lot, but it kind of allows some of the frequencies to come through, even when I'm slamming with compressors and trying to make it as loud and as in your face as possible. Right, that's Liam's, and I'm going to save that, and we're going to send it over to Liam. And next we have Shiko. Shiko, where is Shiko? And track's called Not Found. There it is. Okay. Boom. It's good. Right. Shiko's here. Let's have a listen. 85 BPM. I think this is a kind of hip hop vibe. Let's go. Cool. I've done absolutely nothing on this. There's a version where I've mixed it beforehand, which will be the project I work on when I finish it off and send it over. But let's go from arranging it in the way that I'm used to. So kicks, snares, percussion. Maybe I've got the version. It's called Not Found. No, it's fine. I'll do it this way. I'll just mix it. Because just listening to it as it is, there's not a lot to do. So everything sounds in its right place. We're going to grab these. The intro is great. It sounds like me working late at night. Typing away and slamming the keyboard at times, just trying to get it done. And this on. Right. One thing I would say is that all the stems are quite quiet. As you can see, they're quite low mix. Something that I'm used to be guilty of is kind of mixing everything quieter and quieter to stop the master clipping. And rather than bringing the levels down, it's better to kind of use compression and squash some of the transient peaks, and also to use EQ to balance out the bass and the kick. There's not, if you have too much bass going on, that can overload it and you'll get clipping on your master. Put the channels here. I love this new Ableton feature of having the mixer on the arrangement screen. A bit big. Right, so we've got kicks and snares and percussion. Cool. Hi-hats. Cool. We'll group the tops and rename this to kicks. Okay, let's give this a little squeeze. Okay, that through some of the transient. Cool. It's not, can't hear too many frequencies in there that I don't like, really. There's something in the mid-range which I am not so into, but it's not the worst. In this some more. It's around there. Okay. There's, yeah, not much I need to do with that. Obviously, I need to have a decapitator on it because where would I be without a decapitator? Okay, let's go wild. No, too wild. T is sounding good to me. A is sounding good to me. T or A. T. Okay. Like that. We'll group those. Set up the macro. With. Without. Okay. Yeah. Just a little bit of extra vibe on the kick. And let's move on to the tops. I'm going to use an EQ8 just to have a look. The frequencies. We have some stuff going on in the low end. Scoop it out a bit. You say high pass. Cool. There's no, I don't hear any frequencies in there I don't like. It's now just about, I guess, vibing it up, giving it some vibes. Yeah, decapitator. Always good for the vibes. I like a little bit of saturation in the mix all the time. All of my mixes have saturation on every group, every, you know. Kind of like that at full whack, but I don't know. The back. Cool. We are vibing. What's this? Snare. good to have the proper names for your channels so you can find them easily, especially in huge projects. Might never get too huge, but even with 12 channels, it's good to know where everything is. Okay. Stressor. I don't want to do too much to the snare, really. Nice and chill. Yeah, it's a bit of vibe. It's hard to explain. A little bit of compression on it helps it to sit nicely. Let's get the kicks and the tops and play them together. There's a few frequencies in there that I'm not into. I'm going to grab the Soothe again. I'm probably using this way too much because it's new to me, but I really like it. Let's see. Where are my hi-hats there? Okay, let's do the... Okay. Don't need to do the full mix. Yeah, that was the frequency I didn't like. Oh man, it's so quick to use this. It's great. Okay. I guess we're going to move on to the bass, and then we'll mix the bass with the tops and the kicks and get our drums and our bass grooving nicely. And then we can move on to the rest of the track. I was going quite deep into this one, but let's just keep going. Oh, some clicks in there. It's always good to have a slight attack on your subs and a little bit of release time as well. This means that they fade in, fade out, and if you hear there's a click. I just got a Discord notification. Mute that. The click, and that's because the wave is not crossing 0 when it starts again, and this is like a 0 crossing click, because you not using a fade on your sub. You can remove it later with click, declicker. Isotope is a good one. I don't have one on here at the moment, but yeah, again, dirty. Just low pass it, get rid of that click. Okay, and then give it a little squeeze, and let's see. And with very subby sub basses, with very subby basses, it's always good to saturate. Once again, I am reaching for the decapitator, but you'll get harmonics. So even on speakers which don't go very low, if you have some harmonics on your sub, then you'll be able to hear them on your little desktop speakers or whatever on your in-ear buds. So let's crank it. Get really gnarly, or just nice and subtle without. There's a bit more drive. You can hear I don't know if you can hear, but there's some harmonics up there that are going to help it on smaller speakers. Right, now let's mix that with tops and the kicks, and we are gonna have the foundations of our track, I guess. Do you know what? The kick and the sub are kind of, oopsie daisy, interfering with each other. So I'm going to do another compressor, but I'm just going to sidechain it from the kicks. And this is going to be sidechain the bass. So when the kick hits, the bass kind of drops out a little bit. Not too much. Okay. For my ears, it sounds like it's sitting better together now. Let's move on to our top. Yes, I will be sending you my fully mixed track. I will send you stems as well if you want. And I am recording the whole screen with the audio, microphone, etc. So you'll have the full screen video from my computer as well. You can come back and kind of see what I've said about the track and see what I've worked on. Okay, so kick stops. I'm going to call that sub bass because it is a sub bass. And now we're going to move on to, we have effects. Oh, there's some rims and perks I didn't add in. I wonder if they're going to fit nicely with the tops. Should do. Okay, that's fine. There's, yeah, it's quite nicely mixed anyway. I don't need to do too much to this one. Bass, chords, and we've got the melodies. I think the melodies sit with the chords. They work together. So let's put those. Call this Rhodes, if I can spell. Okay, let's get this bit here. Okay, there's a frequency in this melody, which is down there, I think. Yeah, it's around there, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, to me it sounds a little bit better without that frequency. Okay, yeah, happy with that. Soothe is helping me out with these frequencies really well. Chords. Cool. Again, there are some frequencies in there I could take out, but I've been kind of overrunning with this one, so we're going to just kind of mix everything today. Is there anything in here? Again, the problem when you're mixing stuff is really quiet. It's difficult to, yeah, there is, okay. You can barely see it. It's like a melody that comes in. Okay, let's try and fit these in before. Just put this as keys before we finish. Okay. I'm going to call on that one, but because the synths and the keys were a little bit quiet, the bass and the kick and the drums was quite loud when they were put back in. I'd spend more time bringing up the levels of the keys, especially this sine melody. Yeah, when you again try and export stems as loud as possible, try and label them well. And then yeah, I spent a bit more time on that, but the general mix is pretty good, and I'm gonna finish that off and send that over to Shiko. Right, next up, we are going to move on to I think I'm gonna do. Hold on a second. We're gonna go to Confalcon. We'll save this one and I'll finish the mix and I'll send it over, send the stems, everyone will get their mix. Hopefully this week. Oh, microphones come through on my ears. Right. Okay. We have Confalcon. You're still here, right? Okay, let's take a listen to it. I've done some mixing. Start with the drums. Again, with the last one, once I've got the levels of all the synths up to the right levels, then I'll go back into the bass and the kick and mix everything a bit better. But I don't have a huge amount of time right now. And thank you for thank you everyone for sending their tracks through. It's been nice to work on them. It's been fun mixing. I really enjoy mixing, putting my headphones on and just getting into the vibe and trying to make everything sound a little bit better. Okay, drums on this one. Whoa, okay, this is loud. Save my ears. Cool. These are pretty cool sounding drums. Yeah, what have I done here? My audio device has crashed. 1 second. Not sure why that happened. Okay, drum. Still coming through, right? Looks like. Okay, bass compressor. Right, so they're all one stem. I'm using this to kind of tame and glue everything together. Just turn it off. It's like a little rim percussion thing. It's kind of loud. This is cool. Some tape, give it some vibe. Doing two. And then decapitator. Decapitators. Again, not doing too much, but it's there. It's saturating. It's adding a little bit of saturation over all the frequencies. Drums to stand out a little bit. Again, it's just a personal preference rather than it being essential. Okay, Soothe is doing something. Okay, yeah, that kind of tambourine-y rim thing. Some frequencies I'm pulling out. And then squashing them with a limiter just to keep the level in check. Quick, and move on to the sub bass. Good old 808. Just kind of reined it in a little bit. I think the limiter, the soothe has pulled out some frequencies in the bottom. Yeah, let's play that with the drums. Cool. Right. Now, this track has quite a lot of stuff fighting in the mid-range. I'll explain what I mean by fighting in the mid-range, but we'll take a listen to all this, the different channels. We can through it. This kind of June sounding synth, this low guitar, and they pretty much sit in the same kind of frequency zone. When you have too many mid-range things fighting for space, your mix can get. So put these two together just because of the way the frequency competing. Okay, cool. And they like they all sit the mid range of those and sub sits quite nice. And then we have this what I call DJ Shadow organ. Now this was quite mono, so I added some chorus to it just to. Again, we have some resonant peaks, some resonant frequencies that I've scooped out with the EQ8, and there was something I was going to do. It's quite like punchy, but then also at the same time. So I'm going to use Transient Designer just to kind of pull back the sustain. I wish these plugins would open on the correct window. Nothing. And kind of cutting the sustain of that will help with the interfering of the mid-range. These. Now, there is something cool you can do with Soothe, not yet, but you can set up a sidechain called DJ Shadow Organ, and then use the sidechain. Sidechain. Turn on. And that what that will do is will duck the frequencies of this kind of synthy bass channel whenever it's playing with the DJ Shadow Organ. They're not trying to fight for the same frequencies and together. I like that. The sound here, I like it a lot, and I want to kind of shine through in the mix. I'm going to move on to this guitar pluck. It's nice. Let's see if we can fit it in with. Okay, smoothing out some of the frequencies, resonant frequencies. That to me sounds pretty good. Now we move on. We have a choir thing happening here. Again, I would say it's in that kind of I was just sure I would take a Q8, have a look at the frequencies that are there. So see from like here to here. There's a lot of that in this. There's also a lot of that in this. The synthy bass is also a lot of it in the organ. So they're all competing for the same space. It's kind of difficult for them to all kind of shine, be heard, and then not muddy up the mix at the same time. And there's a high string. And I've smoothed that out and added some. Now let's try and mix together. Create some group. Kind of see. I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to mix the synths and the bass together, and then we're going to add the drums in. Cool. Right. To me, that sounds pretty good. Gonna drums. Cool. Sonable true balance agrees with my ears. It's pretty much good. It's nice to have a friend like this that assures you that your ears are still working even after all day in the studio. Okay, that's Com Flacon done. Thank you for sending that over. Appreciate everyone that sent music in. I'm going to save that so I don't lose it. Com Falcon, I said it completely wrong. Now, seeing as I don't have that much, I'm going to move on to someone here. So I believe it's more beneficial. Who's here watching that sending a track? Jesus in me sent me one, right? I've got that one. That one is called Drum Messing, I believe. Track. I'm going to find that. Yep. Cool. There's a 32 bar beat. Get through this pretty quick. Okay, kicks. This looks like a bass, and also this looks like a bass. Then squashed. Organ. Okay, cool. Listen. Okay, I've done some mixing. We will take a listen to it, and then we'll go through what's happening and what I've been doing. Right. So let's start with kick has nothing on it, which is a good place to start. Loop this. There's a whoom sound. Okay, I'm going to use my new favorite soothe. Help us with moving that frequency that I don't see. There, isn't it? Okay, not too much. Way too much. Oh yeah. Okay, that's giving it. Taking that out is actually giving it more weight. Which is cool. Right. And then add some of that vibe back in. Use the data. Yeah. Too much. I always go for A or T with drums. A is better. Yeah, for sure. Okay, a bit too much. Fine. We're gonna aim white. I think it's quite compressed. It looks pretty. I think I need to do too much. Give it a squeeze. See what happens. Yeah, it's a bit more present, I think. Quite happy with that. The snare is okay. Yeah, definitely a frequency in there that I don't like is. I'm thinking about removing these frequencies. It's just kind of like they may not be completely obvious to the person listening to the track, but over time they'll fatigue the ears a little bit because they're quite like resonant. It is right there, isn't it? To it. Cool. Not much more I need to do with this. I don't think. Pretty. It's got such. I think we can hear the bypassed. I think maybe I've done too much. Yeah, sounds good to me. Always add a little bit of saturation. Do you know what? I'll use the Arturia version for this. Pretty much the same. Sounds like also very for this kind of. T. Sounds good. Okay. Vibe. And that's playing with, let's remove, close those, with this bell organ here. I don't have the BPM set on this one actually, do I? Cool. A little bit dry. Drive it a little bit. There are some fatiguing frequencies and mid-range. Delta that. Too much. Okay, that sounds nice on its own. Put it in the mix. Kick snare. It's really nice. Oh, it's beautiful. Its own. No, I just played it longer. Save that. Here. Cool. It's nice. Some again resonant frequencies. Again, I think I've overdone it. Cool. And then we have to. I was using a transient master to kind of like pull back the sustain on that piano, but I don't know if it actually needs benefits. I mean, it's like mixing is fully like objective. Sorry, my dog is walking around here. Fully subjective. It's up to you. Like, I might decide one day that I want to pull back the transients on that, and the next day I might decide actually no, it's fine. It sounds good as it is. So let's see what. Cool. Let's move on to the next section. We got hi-hat coming in. And another piano. And synth. Just gonna mix in the hi-hats with the kicks and snares. There's some stuff in the mid-range I want to pull out. Delta. It's more down here. There was about that one, but it's not around here. Okay. It's too much. It's, yeah, as well as having mid-range stuff, I don't think it's got enough top end. Boost it, decapitate it, and then bring out some of the tops in there. They're cool hats. The pattern's okay. That's playing with this. Piano. I like atonal kind of sounding piano that I've just compressed a bit and pulled back the transients because it was quite a long sound that was interfering. Moved my sweet. Now we have this acid style bassline going on. Very resonant, very cool sounding thing. So mix that in with the drums. Sounds alright to me. Again, done some EQing on this. Remove some resonance. Boosted the bass a little bit, and then we have this airway. Loop bit where it plays. Cool. Now that's like, there's not a lot of sub bass in that anyway. I would have another one an octave lower. Let's see if I can just, bodge it. Oops. Bodge it by dropping it an octave and wow. I'm mixing it with this. Cool. Roll off the top end of this. Together, and then we use the compressor to squish them together. Does that work? Drum. More sub bass presence. Do it with the acid synth 303 style bass line. Cool. Sounding a little bit better, I think. And let's drop in this bell organ that's playing. There, okay. Try and mix in those. Cool, I'm just using the soothe again, so the up comes through when the cool. All right. sounding a lot better. Boosted the sub bass a little bit more there, just to anchor the low end with the kick and stuff. Yeah, just a short beat, but there's lots of things going on. I think for structure wise, try dropping some stuff out, stripping it back, and then you can build it into something very cool. Yeah, I'm going to save that. I'm going to send the stems, export it. I think I have time for one more before my ears are completely shot. Right. We have Mimi Atmo beat. Let's load that up and we'll get mixing. See, this one's a 147. Let's take a listen to it. Only 7 channels. And if I don't know, I can do this at all. Look. No. Okay, cool. We can mix this from the start. Straight away, this piano is giving me mid-range resonances that I'm just going to take them out around here, right? I think it's in the reverb that's on the piano. One thing I like to do with my reverbs is have a high pass on them. A lot of them have a built-in high pass, so you can cut out the low end. I don't really like kind of mid-rangey reverbs or reverb in the sub. It's clean, sparkly. Go quite hard on this one. Okay. Cool. Right. We have hi-hats and we have kick. We have, I don't know what to call this. I think kicks on top. Snares underneath. Let's listen to those. Okay. Just a lot of frequency there that I didn't like. Kind of knocky. Sorry, I pulled some weird faces when I'm concentrating. Mix it with the snare. I can show you with the reverb. This has got high pass, low pass. I'll just bring it up. It's quite dry, so I added just a touch of reverb just to... Now let's listen to the hats. Again, a bit dry. And gonna smooth it out. Okay. Way too much. Oh, is it way too much? Kind of chirpy. I think I can. A little bit. Okay. I don't always do this, but I'm going to mix them together to get them vibing with each other. Okay. It's got some stereo stuff in there. I don't want to like make it mono, but I'll bring it more to the center. What's it going to do? The library API, but cool. Bring them together a little bit. Too much, and then use some tape. Cool. I think that's nice balance. Sorry, changed the preset there for some reason. Right. Now that's going to be with bass. I get going. And we have quite like a dynamic bass. The synth bass. Cool. It's interfering with the kick, so I'm gonna have to move my search. The sidechain, just to give it a bit of space. We're gonna go sidechain and we're gonna kick 8. With like sidechain, the kick to the bass, I usually put the reverb, the release quite long, and then just dial it back in to taste what kind of suits the track, what works well with the material. Sounds good to me. Let's have a look at the frequency. See if I can get some sub, because like it's not uber subby. Punchy, but not. Okay. You can see it's quite stereo this. I want to make sure that the bass is in mono. So we don't get any weird gremlins happening with phase. All right, let's mix it with that piano. from here. And one thing I like to do with bass, especially when it's a synth bass, is to kind of split the frequencies. So you have the sub and you have the mid range and anything else is on top. So I only have like 5 minutes. So I'm not gonna do it now, but like basically create an audio track and you get the sound from synth bass in, and then you put it pre-effects. So you have the raw sound. I can do it now quickly. The raw sounds here without any EQ, without anything else. So what I can do is just play the sub on there. And then now, because I've sent the sub to the other channel. Oh, wait. Need to add in the. As you see, that sub is actually not in mono. This gives me more control over sound at the top end and the sound of the sub, so I can add compression, saturation to the top end of the bass without affecting the sub, keeping the sub quite solid and kind of anchoring the track. So it's just doing it roughly. Cool. Right, now let's just get everything back in and then I'll do a quick and dirty mix and then we'll call it. Play it with the. Cool. Just getting the sidechain also on some of the synths to get it grooving with the kick. All right, let's take a listen to that and then. Cool. Right. That was Mimi Atmo Beat. And another thing to say about splitting your kind of synth bass is you can then scoop out a place for your kick to sit in. If you don't want to have the side chaining effect, you can just literally use EQs to kind of like, just leave a gap there, and then your sub just down here, so your kick's got a bit of space to sit in between. Right, and that's gonna be that's gonna be it. I'm gonna export those. I'm gonna send you stems. I'll send you the mixes. Give them a bit of a master as well. Should be able to get them over to you in the next week or so. Thank you to everyone who sent in tracks. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Again, apologies for last time when the internet broke. Can't blame Mr. Sam. We have a couple of events coming up. We're going to be talking Melodics with Sam Gribbin, our CEO of Melodics. And I think we might have Mike in as well from the team. And so we're going to be asking for your questions. So if you have any questions about Melodics, any questions about the future, the past, present, community, get them in. I'll set up a channel. We will collect all those and we'll ask Sam on stream, put him in the hot seat, as it were. Another track feedback coming up start of August with Dom again, our mate Dom. So we will see you all there. I hope you all have a lovely day, evening, morning, whatever it is you, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.